Good evening to you. Rates of coronavirus are so high in some parts of the southeast that when lockdown officially ends at the start of next month, some areas may still find themselves enduring strict rules on what they can and cannot do.
Well, the Prime Minister has repeated his promise that this national lockdown will end on December the 2nd. But what comes after that, no one can say. Two parts of Kent in particular are giving cause for concern. In Thanet, 516 people per 100,000 have been recorded as positive for the virus over a weekly period. In Swale, which covers Faversham, Sittingbourne and the Isle of Sheppey, it's even higher at 584 people. That compares with a national average of 270 people per 100,000 in a weekly period.
Well, this evening, the leader of Swale Council said there was a risk the borough would still be in lockdown at Christmas. Kit Bradshaw has our report.
The sun may be shining over the port of Ramsgate, but this town is in the middle of something of a storm as far as coronavirus is concerned. Cases here and across the Thanet district on Kent's east coast are rising rapidly, almost doubling last week alone and pushing the infection rate to among the highest in the country.
We're very concerned about the numbers, but we're particularly concerned by the way that they've shot up since the middle of October, because we had pretty good numbers, relatively speaking, certainly in September. What concerns me is what comes next, and obviously the infection rate in Thanet is going to drive that, and that's why it's so important for local people to observe the messages.
Rising positive results from drive-in testing centres like this one isn't just a concern here in Thanet, but also in another district of Kent. And you can see that quite clearly on this interactive map. That second purple blob is Swale, where cases are also recorded at more than 500 per 100,000 of population.
I mean, we're very worried about the figures. This is not COVID confined to any particular sector like the care sector or indeed healthcare. This is community transmission, and therefore we all need to now play our part.
A number of schools in Swale have been forced to totally close because of local outbreaks, including Minster Primary School on Sheppey and Fulston Manor Secondary School in Sittingbourne. For the local MP, the reason for the recent spike isn't clear.
In Swale, the highest incidence appears to be on the Isle of Sheppey. So it could be that the fact we have 3 prisons on the island could be having an impact. I don't believe that is the case, but it could be.
Back in Ramsgate, writer CHRISTABEL Bradley has just finished 11 days of isolation after testing positive for COVID. As a home worker, she's not sure how she got it, but worries about her son going to school.
The school are being fantastic and there are bubbles and they're doing everything they can, but they have to get there, and he goes on the bus and with mask on, but I think even my very minor case shows that it can happen anywhere, anytime.
We're now halfway through England's second lockdown. Too early perhaps to see if it's doing enough to flatten the upward curve in infections. Those living in the southeast's new hotspots are bracing themselves for a potentially long road ahead. Kit Bradshaw, ITV News, Thanet.